The 4 Americans were killed in Benghazi on the anniversary of the deadliest terrorist attack the United States has ever known. President Obama spoke the next morning.
The United States condemns in the strongest terms this outrageous and shocking attack. We're working with the government of Libya to secure our diplomats.
A few days later, Libya's interim president, Mohamed Migharyev, suggested al-Qaeda was responsible, based on reports of the way the attackers were armed and carried out the assault.
All this indicates clearly that the attackers are well trained and well prepared and have planned this in advance.
That contrasted sharply with comments made by Susan Rice, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, who described the attack as a spontaneous reaction to a protest hours earlier outside the U.S. Embassy in Cairo, a protest apparently in response to an obscure anti-Islamic video on the internet. Rice appeared on ABC's This Week program.
We believe that folks in Benghazi, a small number of people came to the embassy or to the consulate rather, to replicate the sort of challenge that was posed in Cairo. And then as that unfolded, it seems to have been hijacked, let us say, by some individual clusters of extremists.
Rice says the intelligence community provided her with that now discredited explanation. Some Republicans suggested political maneuvering ahead of the presidential election. Mitt Romney, the Republican nominee for president, raised the issue in one of his debates with President Obama.
Whether there was some misleading or instead whether we just didn't know what happened, I think you have to ask yourself, why didn't we know 5 days later when the ambassador to the United Nations went on TV to say that this was a demonstration? How could we have not known?
In late October, the Reuters news agency reported that an official email showed the White House and the State Department were advised hours after the assault that an Islamic militant group had claimed credit on Facebook. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton responded the following day.
Posting something on Facebook is not, in and of itself, evidence. And I think it just underscores how fluid the reporting was at the time and continued for some time to be.
The level of security at the Benghazi mission is another contentious issue. Lieutenant Colonel Andrew Wood, who worked with embassy security in Libya earlier this year, testified before lawmakers last month about the worsening security situation, as seen in this YouTube video.
Militias appear to be disintegrating into organizations resembling freelance criminal operations. Targeted attacks against Westerners were on the increase. In June, the ambassador received a threat on Facebook with a public announcement that he'd like to run around the embassy compound in Tripoli.
Wood says the regional security officer tried to obtain additional personnel, but diplomatic security remained weak. An independent accountability review board is now examining the circumstances surrounding the Benghazi attack, and the State Department says that report might be ready by mid-December. Suzanne, Presto, VOA News, Washington.